Hello. So in this video, we'll be seeing a quick comparison of Gen 4, Gen 5 and then the new Gen 6 nodes. So as we know, we have S series, X series, NL series and HD series in Gen 4 and Gen 5, and in Gen 6 we have Flash series F800, H series H600, H500, H400 and Archive series A200 and A2000. So here you can see the node size in Gen 4 and Gen 5. We have 2U and 4U racks. So 2U racks will be small and 4U racks will be big in size. So here you can see the front view and back view of S210 node. So in 2U series, a node will have total of 24 drives. So here you can see the drives in the front end, and on the back you will have the ports for that particular node, and this is for X210. And when it comes for a 4U series, you will have a 36 drives, 12 drives at the back and 24 drives in the front. So here you can see these are the drives on the front, and here again you will see the drives that is against the shield. So in 4U rack we have 36 drives, and in 2U rack we have 24 drives in Gen 4 and Gen 5 series. And here you can see in Gen 6 this has completely been changed, and they have bought a chassis, that is 4U chassis, in which we can hold it can hold up to 4 nodes. So this is the one. So this is one chassis in which we have node 1, node 2, node 3 and node 4. So these nodes are now in a vertical mount. In Gen 4 and Gen 5 we saw it in another direction, and here it in vertical mount. So at the back of the nodes again we have the same ports, and here you can see the back with the rear view of a Gen 6 node. So the first port that here is the 1 GB management port, and again you have the internet network port, and you have third option, the external network port. This external network port are the Ethernet port. So this Gen 6 series have 10 gig and 40 gig connections as Ethernet front-end port, whereas in Gen 5 and Gen 4 we have 10 gigs as two 10 gig and two 1 gigs as the front-end ports. And then coming down we have the console connector, where you can connect directly to this node using your laptop, and then you have the LED button, and then the multifunction button, and power supply you have here, then the SSD cache and USB connector. So whenever there is a patch upgrade from EMC, the EMC directly plug in the USB and do the patch upgrade. And you have the HDMI debugging port. So these are all the options available on the back end of the node. Coming down, and also we have a series called A series in Gen 5, A100. It is nothing but an accelerator node, not a normal node. This is like an accelerator node which is used more for acceleration. So here you can see the rack requirement. So for all these S, NL, X and A series you can use 35.50 inch normal rack, and HD is like deep rack, and the same here for A2000 you will be using the deep rack, and the rest of things you will be using the 35.5 inch normal rack. And coming to the backend connectivity, we have the InfiniBand, and in backend they have introduced the Ethernet now. So and the front end you have 2 into 1 gig Ethernet. Here you have 1 into 1 gig Ethernet. Rather in backend you have 2 into 1 gig Ethernet and 2 into 10 gig Ethernet as a 4 ports and the front end port. And here 2 into 10 gig or 2 into 1 gig. You can use either or one. And so the minimum number of nodes of same model is 3 here and it's 4 here, and the incremental is 1 and it's 2 here. Coming down, you'll have the drives. So in Gen 6 we have 2.5 inch and 3.5 inch drives. So 2.5 inch are the SAS drives and 3.5 inch are the SATA drives. So here in Gen 5 and Gen 6 we had 36 drives, and we had for 36 drives for the 4U rack and 24 drives for the 2U rack. But here in Gen 6 we have a concept called sled. So each node will have a sled and each sled will have drives on that. So we have two kind of sleds, one is transverse and other one is a longitudinal. So on the first one we have short sled up to 6 drives, whereas the H600 can go up to 6 drives and F800 can go up to 3 drives. This is for 2.5 inch. And when it comes to 3.5 inch we have two kind of sleds, one is a short and one is a long. In short we can hold up to 3 drives and long can hold up to 4 drives. So this long sled is only used for 8,000 nodes and which can hold 4 drives in one sled. And this sled placement is transverse in 2.5 inch and longitudinal in 3.5 inch. So here are the pictures of sled, and this is how the drive layout is. All these data drives are hot swappable. You can just open the sled and replace the drive, and again you can close the sled and the drive gets saved to your node. So that's all about the comparison between Gen 4, Gen 5 and Gen 6 hardware. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next lecture.